like to welcome everyone to today's installment of Ahead in the Cloud. Of course, I'm your host. With me today, I have a CPA, MBA, and QuickBooks ProAdvisor, Tyler McBroom from Measured Results, alongside his client. Hey there. And we also have his client, a real estate professional and business owner, Seth Choate. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us. Really excited to dive into today.
Excellent. Thank you. We're excited to have you. What I'm hoping to do is to provide our listeners with the first true end-to-end conversation around how businesses are leveraging the cloud to succeed in today's accelerated business environment. We only have around 45 minutes today. There's a lot to cover. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Everybody ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you. So Seth, let's get started with you for a moment. Take a moment, if you will, and just tell us a little bit about your company and you. What are you into? Just give us a little background on you.
Sure. So I'm out here in California in the Central Valley. Started doing real estate about 4.5 years ago. And last year, I run a real estate team now that last year did a volume of $23 million in real estate sales. I also own a flipping company. We will flip 40 homes this year. And our real estate team will be about 40 million in volume. There are 9 members on our team, from back office to agents. I got a beautiful wife and a newborn daughter.
Oh, congratulations on all of your accomplishments, especially for the newborn. That's exciting. Tyler, same question. If you'll just give us a little background, let our listeners know a little bit about yourself and your company.
Yeah, so I'm a partner at Measured Results. It's a CPA firm in California with my father. Actually, my father started his first CPA firm when I was 3 months old. And so I've kind of been steeped in taxes since I was a little baby. And then kind of came in after working for a couple other firms, came into the business with him and have been there since 2014. And we've really have a big focus on helping business owners dramatically slash their tax bill and then get their books on autopilot so that they can focus on the things that they're best at, which is grow their business.
Absolutely. And I couldn't help but smile when you mentioned your dad's tax practice at 3 years old. Anyone in taxation knows that it just kind of takes over.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
So I've heard through the grapevine about a particular statue in your office. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, so I'm a big Disney nut, and I've got a little statue of if you go to Disneyland, in front of the castle, there's a statue of Walt Disney holding Mickey Mouse, or not holding, and that's not like a baby, but holding his hand. And so I did a little college program internship for Disney when I was in school, and picked up that statue, and it's kind of a reminder. I like Disney for the business lessons in it because they're excellent at service and always going the extra mile. So the statue is kind of a reminder for me to always make sure we're doing that at Measured Results.
Excellent. Very good. Seth, now to you. I could tell from just about everything that I've seen that you post online. I've done some research over the last week or so. And what I'm finding from your posts, your social media presence, is that you put your customers first. Could you share with us where does that passion come from?
Sure. So when we built this model, it's very difficult as a realtor. You're on a commission-only basis, and it can get scary from paycheck to paycheck. But I refuse to allow myself to focus on my needs, and I always believe that you just got to take care of others. When that happens, things just multiply tenfold. And so I teach my team that we are always treating our clients like their family. And when we do that, they can truly feel that we have their best interest in mind. And from there, just referrals come in, and they know that we're always going to be going to bat for them.
Excellent. Excellent. So you've mentioned putting your customers first, communicating with your internal teams. Do you collaborate with your clients using cloud products?
Yeah, almost all the time. When we do our contracts, everything we run is, unless they're 90, we are sending everything electronically to sign. It's just so much more efficient. And then all of our documents, they have a cloud-based system where they can access every document. We don't print anything anymore. It's rarely do I print anything.
Oh, that's amazing. So professionally and personally, do you have a favorite app?
Yes, we use a program called SkySlope, and SkySlope allows for clients to enter into the portal, and it allows them to look at where they are in the transaction, what's happening next, do we have inspections, appraisal, everything like that. They can go in and sign their documents. It's very user friendly. From a personal side, just Google Calendar. I mean, it just keeps my sanity. And when you get busy, having that on your phone, I used to write it down, but then that thing doesn't alert you. Your printed calendar will not alert you. And so just having it in your phone is so nice.
Excellent. I like that. Here's the $1 million question. Let's go ahead and get a little deeper. Let's dive right in. Why do you hire a professional like Tyler to do your taxes and to handle your books in the first place? What drives that?
It's all about saving money. So I've realized as we've really scaled this thing and started to make a lot of money, that it is a lot easier to save $1 than it is to go make another one. So if you just put in some very simple tactics and hire the right professionals as partners, I consider Tyler a partner. And if you get those people on your team, you're going to save a tremendous amount of money that you've already earned.
Very good point. Very good point. So thinking current state and looking into the future, what is it that you need or you're looking for from that relationship?
Well, Tyler, I sit down with Tyler and his firm. We're getting
some feedback. Sorry, 1 second.
You're fine.
Okay.
I sit down with Tyler's firm quarterly, and I look at him like a partner where he knows where the business is growing and what it's doing, so we can plan ahead on how to save taxes and some different strategies. I've had individuals in the past where it's just, let's come in once a year and hurry up and get this thing done, and that doesn't benefit me. So what I look for is somebody who's really trying to help my business grow and keep money in my pocket.
Excellent. Well, this is a good transition. Tyler, welcome.
Thank you. Got the video under wraps.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know it's pretty early in California still. Again, thank you both for joining us.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and level up for a moment. And could you share a little bit with, just share with us how you met or how you connected with Seth as a client?
Yeah, so actually it was through a client of ours who he's in an office with, I believe, a client of ours who referred him to us, and then we met and had a conversation. And so we measure our performance by how many people are recommending us to their friends and their colleagues, because that's the highest honor. And so that was how we were introduced to Seth. And fortunately, we've also become good friends in the process. And so it's not just a planning opportunity, but I always genuinely enjoy his company and hanging out. And so that always makes me want to work harder as well.
Great. That's awesome. So for both of you, I guess, Tyler, if you'll kind of share, what was the onboarding process like from your point of view?
Yeah, so, and I'll let Seth attest to whether this actually happened or not, but at Measure Results, we try to have a systemized onboarding process where, number one, we have a set of 5 core values, which are vitality, balance, continuous improvement, respect, and then gosh, I'm blanking on the 5th one right now, but we review our core values with our clients and then go over kind of how we work and then get them in the system and then make sure that everything's working through the whole organization. And so it's really managing expectations up front and kind of telling what you can expect from us and what we hope to expect from him as a client. And then just going into the planning process from there, depending on what time of year it is.
Was that your experience, Seth?
Yeah, it was. We went over their core values, expectations. I kind of feel bad for them. When I showed up, it was just kind of a mess of stuff. Here's a shoebox full of receipts.
Yeah.
And a shoebox of death, I like to call it.
It was a nightmare. And I said, here you guys go. And they go, well, do you know what your budget is monthly? And this and I go, I'm making more than I'm losing. And so it was a mess when we first started, but we've dialed that in now with that onboarding process.
Excellent. So, Tyler, any lessons that you would share with other firms when they think about how to create that system?
I think just the first step is having a formal system. We've grown a lot in the last year or two, and at first, when we first started kind of gaining some steam, it was just kind of fly by the seat of our pants and hope that they get to the right places. And so we've really we dedicated a specific point person that's in charge of onboarding in our office, and having her plate cleared to focus on just that has helped make sure that as we grow and get new clients in the system, that all the T's are crosses and I's are dotted. And there will be times when I might feel like personally, oh shoot, I haven't talked to that client in a while. Then we have our initial kind of follow-up call a month or so in and say how things are going, and they give glowing reviews, and that is a relief that means the system's working. So having that formal process in place definitely is huge, and with a checklist that they have to initial off each step is happening, and so that's been really huge for us.
That is important, and congratulations to you for having that formal process in place. I do meet several firms weekly that are still working through what that looks like. So very cool. Seth, full disclosure, we use QuickBooks Online Accountants Edition. We're in the cloud. What does that cloud-based interaction with measured results look like and mean for your small business?
Well, it's really nice. So I buy a lot of houses, and a lot of times they need to see, this is just the first thing that comes to mind. Lender says, Seth, I need a profit and loss. I can just click on my phone, get a profit and loss for the last year, and boom, email it out. It's really, really helpful from that. I think that's the biggest impact for me because I'm buying several homes a month. The other thing that's nice is I can just pop the app open and it's going to tell me how much I made this month versus how much I spent. And I've constantly got a profit and loss statement right there, knowing where I am on my budget. I used to use a desktop version and it just never went to it because when I wanted the information, I wasn't at my desktop. So I forget about it, right? And on the phone, I just look it up, boom, it's there.
Wow, that is really convenient. So you had mentioned being on the desktop and also that shoebox of death. Before working with Tyler, did you work with another firm, or was it just kind of run and gun?
No, I did. And I've always been a guy who I'm always trying to improve my team. And I'm looking for a better attorney, CPA, everything. Got to keep Tyler on his toes. So
what have you done for me lately? That's always the question.
Good for you. Good man.
I'm not happy with my last firm because they just didn't want to plan with me. So I went to some very high-level performers in the area and interviewed who they recommended. And because Tyler's firm wanted to sit down on a quarterly basis is why we moved over.
Excellent. So that relationship, that consultative approach is really important to you, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, because they got to know what's going on in my business to help me with tax strategy. And it's not something where I just come in at the end of the year and say, all right, you're going to pay $35,000 in taxes. No, I want to know up front, like, all right, here's our estimated cost. How do we get this down? How can we, if you go and you spend a little money here or you pay in advance, can we save you some taxes? It's a business partner. They're in the business with me.
Excellent. I can share some experience after talking with some firms and other small businesses, is that relationship takes time to build, and checking in once a year just isn't adequate for that relationship building. Fair enough?
Not at all. It's really not. How does anybody know what's going on in your business if you just talk once a year?
Right on. So follow-up question, you may have already shared this with Tyler. It sounds like you probably do share this with Tyler. What is the single best service that he and his team provides you?
I think that we've already hit on it a couple times. It's that they really want to sit down and plan and prep. And it's like, all right, you made this much last year. Where's the business going to? And they help us put together a plan to where I know in advance what I'm going to pay in taxes before the year's done. And at other firms, I never knew. It was kind of like, oh no, did I save enough money? And it's kind of like a roll. You just hope and cross your fingers. Whereas we know we'll know in a couple months probably what I'm going to pay next year.
With tax reform.
Yeah. I mean, that's how good they are at what they do. And it helps me plan and save and put away money.
Absolutely. So Tyler, just to touch on tax reform quickly, is QuickBooks Online and Cloud helping you with your tax strategies and planning for the upcoming year?
Yeah, I think that it helps us in the same way that it would in any year. I mean, this year there's definitely, I've seen that there's going to be a lot more planning opportunities and a lot more having to dive into, getting in the weeds on figuring out the intricacies of how your numbers are affected by tax reform. And so I would say, as far as how QuickBooks Online plays into that, is it's more essential than ever to have an updated, fresh, real-time set of books. Otherwise, we're just going to be totally flying blind. And, we actually had a case like this where a guy sent us his books and we did planning based around that. Then we got to the tax return. Well, it turned out he had a couple $100,000 sitting somewhere else because the books were off. And so by being, they were on a totally separate platform. By being, within QuickBooks Online on the cloud, where we know the books are updated on a regular basis, it helps us make those decisions so much easier, faster, but also better, where we're making sure we're giving them the right advice.
It's going to be vital this year. Leaning into that a little bit more, tell us about your ProAdvisor expertise. What got you started on the ProAdvisor track?
Well, just, it's as you kind of mentioned in the beginning, I've got 6 letters behind my name with CPA and the MBA, and I mentioned, continuous improvements always is one of our core values. And so just wherever I can dive deeper and improve and enhance my knowledge, then I'm gonna go there if the opportunity presents itself. And so we use QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online every day in our business, so I think it only made sense.
Excellent. And so you mentioned working with your dad. That's fair to say. Okay. And being, I would imagine a company that with that much tenure is deeply rooted in legacy desktop products and solutions. What is your recommendation, having moved from those legacy services into the cloud? What would you tell a firm or someone who's more established to help them bridge that gap to getting online?
So it's funny you mentioned that. With all our legacy clients, it's honestly been hardly any resistance at all. We've just having the conversation, they switch over pretty easily. We have a few that are kind of hanging behind. Like one, for example, they're hanging behind because they're up in the mountains and internet's bad there, so they don't want to switch. But that's kind of been the only one. So the advice I would give is just have the conversation. You're probably putting it in your head and projecting what you think they're going to say, rather than actually having the conversation with them. And you'd be surprised, and they might actually thank you for being proactive in moving. They might already be wondering why you're not asking it in the first place, because everything's moving to the cloud. So why wouldn't your books move to the cloud? And so I think just having those conversations would be the first step. Second step, if you do get resistance once you have those conversations, sometimes it takes bringing it up a couple times, but just for us, the efficiencies we've got, as I mentioned in the Firm of the Future profile, is that we actually have to start charging more for our desktop clients, because the back and forth, all the versions, you get the accountant's copy, it doesn't match, and you've got to charge to clean it up. And so letting them know it's actually going to save them in accounting fees is a great, that usually perks their ears up pretty good.
Who would have thunk it, right? Save you some money.
Yeah.
All right, Seth, so many small business owners, especially MBAs, think in terms of investment and cost. How do you consider someone like Tyler to be an investment?
Okay, so these numbers aren't exact, so forgive me, and this was years ago, but when I was at my old firm, I think it cost me like $800 a year to get my taxes done. And I want to say, partnering with Tyler the first year, and this was years ago, so forgive me on the numbers, but I think it was like $3,500, right? Okay, 4 times the amount of money. But I made 130 grand and paid $25,000 in taxes, Then I made 250 grand and paid $23,000 in taxes the next year with Tyler. I mean, you do the math. It's just a no-brainer. It's always an investment. Attorneys and CPAs and real estate professionals are investment.
I agree wholeheartedly. So given that you're a business owner, what is the biggest struggle that you encounter? And this is cloud, not cloud, accounting, not accounting, just in general as a business owner. What's the number one on your radar?
The biggest struggle as we've grown is really, really dialing in my finances and understanding the numbers. You can get things going so fast, and you can have money spent here, money spent there, marketing here, marketing there. And next thing you know, you're just spending as much as you're making. So the biggest struggle is really having a dialed in budget and really knowing what is making money and then where to cut costs because it's not profitable.
Fair enough. That is great. So then this question is going to be really for both of you. Switch gears just a little bit. Considering cloud services, the rate of acceleration that we're seeing in technology in general, where do you both go for help and advice?
Seth, you want to go first?
No, let me think about it. Go ahead.
So for me, I'm a part of a couple of different mastermind groups, and then both industry specific, and then just with just high achievers as a whole. And actually, one of them, Seth and I are in together, and so having those minds that you can bounce it off of, both just general successful business owners, and then twice a year, I go to this thing we call it the focus group, and we meet with about 20 different CPAs, and we just all go around the room and share what are our issues right now, and then kind of bounce ideas and how to solve it back and forth. So having those groups as a framework, it's because a lot of times the answer is clear. It's in a blind spot, and so having someone give you feedback opens up those blind spots, and so that's huge. And then I'm a huge fan of audiobooks, and so I'm always reading when I'm in the car, when I'm working out, and so that's the way that I try to stay educated and informed. And I also actually, while I'm working and doing kind of more of the basic tax prep and things of that nature, I've usually got something on in the background, whether it's a video or a webinar or something, learning. So trying to continuously always improve and figure out what's going on, what's the next step over the horizon.
Very cool. How about for you, Seth?
So in regards to the cloud-based services and where I go for help and services, a lot of these programs that we use, I can call them immediately if we have an issue, and they're going to resolve the problem. I use a dialing software, and every once in a while, I don't know what's going on. I can pick up the phone and they answer right there. I'm not sent to a message. It's very nice. So for help and advice, I go there. With tax situations, I'll just call Tyler's office, and I think that
my
was
cell phone.
How are we getting our help on the software?
Well, just generally, where do you go for help and advice? Do you have a mentor? Do you mentor?
Yes. I have several. I have a coach that I get on calls with twice a month. I have accountability groups such as the one Tyler mentioned there. And then actually next week I'm flying out to a seminar, not a seminar, it's like a small mastermind. There's going to be 20 of us in a room sharing our ideas, because the competition level out there is so fierce, and it's always changing. You've got to be on top of your game. So if I got a guy in Texas who knows something that I don't, we're going to get in the room and share our ideas. I'll take it home and put it in my business.
How about that? Very cool. And a follow-up question, do you mentor?
Do I mentor? It's a space I want to get into that I haven't. Really the only people I'm mentoring right now are my team. I've been asked this question quite a bit, but it's actually going to be a focus of mine here in the very near future. I kind of want to prove myself first before getting into that space.
That might be something I'll follow up with you about then to see how it's coming along. That's very cool. How about you, Tyler? Are you a mentor currently?
I would say similar to Seth, is a lot with our team. There's definitely direct leadership as far as face-to-face mentorship. Although I will say, I've gotten quite a few people recently. My Instagram following has exploded pretty good in the last month or two. We've gone from 1,000 followers to like 12,300 followers we looked at yesterday. And I've gotten a lot of direct messages from people who are in college looking to get into the profession, who said, can I reach out to you? Can we, and we've had some back and forth. So kind of on a broad base, I hope that the content I'm putting out is mentoring people as well, for whether not only on tax savings, but just if they're considering the profession and getting into it, and that it actually can be a exciting profession, not a desk prison sentence. So
sure. Excellent.
yeah.
You both brought up two very good points. The first was as a business owner. I like that you view owning a business as a mentorship opportunity, first of all, and then second of all, our influence online, it's something different than generations before us had experienced. So also like that you see your profiles and your recommendations online as being a mentorship opportunity as well. So as a company, we do provide a service to you. You had mentioned some different things about support, usability, recommendations. As a services provider, what can we do to better assist you in your efforts?
My thing is, with how fast technology is going, it can be confusing at times to use products. And so I always ask that things just are kept as simple as possible for clients. And it's a no-brainer when you go in and you need to look at your profit loss, it's right there. If you need a line by line, it's right there. And it's just extremely simple to use. I look at the iPhone, right? They don't change it. It's just been this way for 15 years, and I will never change that phone because I'm a creature of habit. So I love technology and where it's growing, but if we can keep it simple, that'd be the best.
I like that too. How about for you, Tyler?
Keep it intuitive. Keep it intuitive.
Oh, sure, Scott Cook.
Yeah. So no, I would agree. Well, so like we have a lot of our clients kind of fit Seth's profile. They're in the real estate space, and for just entrepreneurs in general, they don't have a lot of time to spend using accounting software, and so it's helpful for us if they are involved in their books though. So keeping it, as Seth mentioned, as streamlined, as intuitive as possible definitely helps. I would say on the other side, having and you guys do a good job with this with ProAdvisor and then online resources and doing things like the Firm of the Future profiles, but having education opportunities that are in simple, bite-sized, digestible things that an entrepreneur who's running 100 miles a minute will actually be able to digest would be definitely a helpful resource.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And you nailed it. We're now globally responsible for competition. We've got pressure coming from around the world, literally. And to think that we have less time now to be IT consultants, accountants, tax professionals in business is remarkable. So absolutely, thank you, Tyler, for the services you provide. Seth as well. That pretty much wraps it up for me. I'm going to open it up to a little Q&A from the audience. We'll just give it a minute, see if anybody has any questions for us. While folks are typing, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share, Seth?
No, I can't stress enough the importance of surrounding yourself with the right, I call them my team. I consider Tyler a part of my team, and because I said it earlier, it's easier to save $1 than it is to go and make another one. And if you can just put a simple strategy together that saves you $10, $15, $20,000, why not do it? It doesn't take you any extra time, any extra effort. It's just being a little smarter. And so the right team is crucial.
I couldn't agree more. And how about for you, Tyler? Any final thoughts? I want to make sure we get everything out.
Sure. Yeah. So since it is a conversation about the cloud, I would say I would strongly encourage for the tax professionals watching this that I was definitely surprised when we made the conversion how much efficiencies we realized and how much it improved our ability to actually service our clients because not number one, there's no back and forth version control, which anyone who's been in public accounting knows that is a headache every year. And then number two, being able to just click toggle back and forth between clients is huge. And then having access to those books all the time allows us to do the planning stuff like Seth mentioned, and help drop our clients' tax bills dramatically because we're making decisions with real and good numbers. And that the more people you get on the cloud, the more efficient it becomes. It's the tipping point, like Malcolm Gladwell says. It's like when the fax machine first started, there was no one on it until all of a sudden everyone was on it. And then now everyone can send each other faxes. It's the same thing with the cloud, I think. And we're right at that tipping point where it's starting to become mainstream. And so if you're going to see yourself as an advisor, then you've got to be on the horizon and the leading edge of that horizon. And so part of that's getting on the cloud.
I couldn't agree more. Compliance is becoming more and more automated. There's so much great opportunity out there for business owners like yourself. We do have our first question coming today from a Mr. Jeff. What third-party products do you use? I'll give it to Tyler first.
Third-party products. So we have a CRM called Infusionsoft that helps us, manage not just our follow-up for new clients, but also internally automate our services. And it actually integrates with QuickBooks Online, where you can when you pull up a client, you can see what their AR balance is, and then the notes and history of the client. So that's something we use. Another one that we use is Practice Ignition, which is an engagement letter software. And that actually, so you can click multiple services that you have from a menu, it sends it out to the client, they accept it electronically, and then it automatically syncs with QuickBooks Online and bills those services right away, and you can send it out. And so we really love that software as far as on its own, but also that it integrates as well.
Very cool. And I think in the market, we call those apps, third-party products. How about for you? Do you have any apps that you use for your business?
Yeah, well, several. The one we use the most called Boomtown, and it's a real estate related product. It's called a CRM. It's a software where you house all your clients and your leads and everything like that. It's really nice because you can go in there and you can text in the app, you can email in the app. Every bit of conversation with that client is right there. So when you go back in to look at it again, you can reference what you were talking about right there, whether it's a text, email, anything. That's very helpful for us. That's our biggest one.
That's cool. That's two new ones for me. I'm going to do a little research when we get off the call today. That sounds fantastic. Anyone else out there in the Webiverse got a question for us? I'll just give it a moment. And I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. I guess we did a fantastic job laying out the case. What do you say?
Answered them all.
I guess so. That's fantastic. So let's go ahead. We'll call time. I'm going to conclude our time for today. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us, of course. This has been super insightful for me personally. I've learned quite a bit. I do hope it's also been helpful for anyone who is interested in strengthening their customer relationships by leveraging cloud technology. I am Robbie for Intuit. On behalf of our team, Tyler and Seth, I wish everybody a great Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe out there.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.